evening, everyone, and welcome to the Monday night edition of the Rio Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. Glad to be here with you guys on a beautiful autumn Monday evening. When I say beautiful autumn Monday evening, there's a overcast rain here in Chicago tonight. It is probably in the mid 50s right about now, so it's a perfect evening to sit back, relax, and enjoy another wonderful evening of the Rio Chat Daddy Show. Coming up on tonight's show, I have a very special guest co-host with me tonight. He's an author, an historian, an ordained minister, and an all-around great guy. So he'll be here. We're going to cover all the top news stories of the weekend, all the entertainment stories, and then coming up later on in the show, how many of you out there would love to take a vacation and go to somewhere in the Caribbean? But you know we're in the middle of a pandemic, and travel to the Caribbean right now is not the easiest thing. Well, tonight I'll introduce you to a brand new restaurant in Hyde Park, 14 Parish. 14 Parish is the name of the restaurant. It's a wonderful restaurant and rum bar. And they'll be here tonight to show us some of their wonderful stylings and samples of things that they offer there. All right, well, I want to introduce you guys to our co-host this evening. This gentleman is an author, historian, ordained minister. He is Mr. Charles Chuck Smith. I call him Chuck, but tonight I'm sure we might end up calling him Reverend Chuck, depending on how good he is. The co-host. See, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. It's Smooth, Chuck Smooth. I'm calling you Smith. Smooth. I'm so busy calling you right. Right. I done called you.
As long as you don't call me something out of my name, we're all good. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, look, before the night is over, I'm hoping you'll be Reverend Chuck, because you always on social media have some of the most funniest things to say about things. And I just think it's a good way of having a great opinion about life.
Yeah. I mean, I was, from the day I was first went in ministry, I was told, don't take yourself so seriously that you can't laugh at, because God made life to laugh at. So that's what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to be laughing.
Well, you know what I'm trying to figure out more than anything, should we be laughing more at this pandemic? Should we be laughing more at our current political climate? Or should we just be laughing at like what a year this has been?
I think we laugh. I think we laugh to ease the pain and ease the problems that we are going through. So it's not that you're laughing at it. You're laughing to make yourself feel better in a time that is very tense and strenuous. There's a scripture. There's a scripture in Psalms that talks about that asks the question, how could people sing in a time of trouble? Mm-hmm. And, singing and that nature gives one strength and gives one the ability to look outside of oneself and find the, beauty in things, even when things are rough. And I think laughter is the same thing. And with our political climate as rough as it is, how can we not laugh at the idiot in chief? So, I mean, some of it's quite laughable.
Well, I'm hoping during this time together tonight, brother, that we can share as much encouragement with the audience tonight, that you and I can share a many laughs amongst the many things that we have to talk about this evening. But most importantly, we want to encourage people to vote. We're 15 days away from Election Day, and I am going this week to take care of my duties. Have you done so yet, sir?
Okay. I have not done so yet. I've been vacillating between early voting and going in on the day of, because I always have a thing about the day of. But one of my best friends, he talked today about he spent an hour and a half in line and said to us that it was the best hour and a half he's spent in a long time. So the wait is worth it. If you early vote, it's definitely worth the wait, because too much is at stake right now.
Absolutely. And here's the deal. We don't know what will happen as we get towards November 1st, 2nd, and
Right.
3rd. We're looking at just how messy this whole campaign season has been to begin with. So,
Exactly.
if you all can definitely early vote, to my understanding, you can vote at any of the early voting places throughout the city. It does not have to be your particular ward. You can vote at any early voting place. I do think that is correct.
That
So,
is correct.
okay, so get out there and vote. All right.
Right.
Well, let's continue on with our news stories. Today, Mayor Lori Lightfoot said that y'all been doing a little too much. Y'all been having dinner parties and y'all been having card parties and just a bit much. And I'm not gonna lie, a lot of us have been guilty of it. A lot of us,
Right.
have not been as cautious as we need to be, and the cases are going up. We're now in our
Right.
second phase of COVID-19, starting to rise again. Today, Illinois health officials announced 3,113 new known cases of COVID-19,
Wow.
with an additional 22 fatalities. Our thoughts and prayers go out to
Wow.
everybody. That now
Definitely.
Yes, sir. That now brings the total number of known infections in the state of Illinois up to
Mm.
347,161 statewide. And our death total now is 9,236 since the start of the pandemic. And so now, Chuck, what do you think about this, man? This is, here we are. They said once it started getting cool and people would have to be inside, that the numbers would go back up.
Yeah, I think one thing is people have gotten. I think sometimes people think they're immune, and it won't happen to me. It won't happen to me. At the beginning of
Hmm.
the pandemic, within the first month, I lost no less than 15 people that I personally knew,
Wait,
who
wait, wait,
passed
wait,
away.
wait, wait, wait. Hold on. Oh my God.
Hmm.
You 15.
15 people. They were
Wow.
between frat brothers, between friends, between people I went to high school with. I mean, it was crazy. It was like one once a week. I mean, like several in a week, and then things kind of tapered off. And then people started getting comfortable, and thought things leveled out. My fiance is a nurse, so she keeps me very aware of things. She had
Wow.
COVID at one point, so it's very serious. And I think part of it is not enough people know people who were impacted, or who unfortunately passed away from it, and that personal connection. That's what I think a lot of people are missing.
Well, Chuck, I talked to a friend. I've been telling this story on the show, and the friend knows, he watches the show, that he was healthy, contracted COVID. He said it was the roughest two and a half
Hmm.
weeks of his life ever. Still on oxygen in a rehab center.
Wow.
Somebody who I never in a million years would have ever thought, and always very healthy. And so you
Right.
just never know. It does not know a
No.
race. It does not know a financial, ways and means of how you're living. This is just something that we've got to be careful about.
And I think that's one of the things. I think there's this myth that young people are somehow
Mhm.
immune or less likely to get it. I just got word that, again, one of my college fraternity brothers just came down with COVID. And this is someone who's like 19, 20 years old. So
Mhm.
it's affecting younger people as well. And they are some of those who have been a little wild and reckless, and we've got to get the point across to them that this is no joke, that this is so serious, and um, that we have to be more proactive in
Mhm.
fighting this, not only for ourselves but for other people.
Right. Well, just so you guys know, state officials have reported that 48,684 new tests were administered in the last 24 hours. The 7 day statewide positivity rate is now 5.4. When we left you guys last week on Thursday night, it was at 3 point, uh, maybe 3.8 or something, but it was not this high. And so that's
All
letting
right.
everybody know that these numbers are definitely going back up. Also, this afternoon, Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker announced that Southern Illinois uh, will be scaling back soon. Southern Illinois has had a lot of issues down there, and so they will be scaling back quite a bit. Other places that may see scale backs in the near future would be DuPage and Kane County. They have surpassed the 8% positivity rate for 2 consecutive days, with public health officials reporting 8.5 positivity rate in the region on Monday. So the governor is closing or pulling back a lot of different places because they're having a higher increase. And that's because a lot of those places in Southern Illinois, their weather is still really nice down there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that,
And I think up here, in Cook County, we had this whole thing where with this stuff that Mayor Lightfoot put in place initially, and things started going down a little bit, and people were like, oh, well, it's going to be, it's going to be easier. It's going to continue. And like I said, it goes back to what I said earlier. People have gotten complacent. They've gotten comfortable thinking, hey, this stuff is getting better. It won't impact me. But I
Mhm.
read a story a couple of weeks ago saying that the rural areas of the country are going to be the new hotspots
Yes.
because they are starting to congregate more and they are not following things as closely. Those are generally Republican conservative areas that are still have people thinking it's a hoax and what have you. So the
Mhm.
rural areas are probably about to explode now,
Mhm.
whereas it's just been primarily in the urban areas.
Right, right. Well, the one thing that I have to give people credit for in the urban areas, for the most part, I've seen people with their mask on.
Right, right.
I even carry masks around that if I know people, if their mask is looking frayed or wearied or whatever, I'll say, "Hey,
Hmm.
can I give you a fresh mask or whatever?" So,
Hmm.
but you're right. It's the people in the suburbs. I was out in the burbs today in a store, and a gentleman came in with his arm over it, and people were like, "Sir, you don't have a mask." "Oh, I don't have one. I don't have,"
Right,
and you're putting people at risk.
right.
Just do
Yeah,
what's necessary.
and it's ridiculous because it's this sense of entitlement that somehow their rights are being infringed upon just by wearing a mask. And if you're think about how much your rights are infringed upon if you're dead. So I mean, it's I mean, I think that's one of the most ridiculous parts of all of this is the reaction to some that somehow wearing a mask is. I mean, what was that Dr. Fauci said that the until the vaccine becomes available or becomes made, that we can save more lives wearing masks right now than waiting around for a vaccine and doing nothing.
Yes.
So I mean that they're telling us the masks save lives.
Yes. Well, now you have your president who's out here trashing Dr. Fauci. Today, he referred to Fauci and other health officials as idiots. Trump declared the country ready to move on from this health disaster, even as cases again are spiking and emergency rooms are full. I don't understand how he got cured so quick, Chuck. I really don't. But
Money.
but now he's saying that Fauci is no good. And to me, I trust Fauci.
Well, I mean, the first question you asked, how did he get cured so quickly? They spent on the time he was in Walter Reed, his treatment cost $1.5 million. That was just for him. So they were able to give him the experimental drugs and the experimental treatment there are some that I read in the medical community who say that they still don't think Trump is out of the woods, but nevertheless, money gives you access to things that you and I don't have access to. So,
Hmm.
I mean, that's part of it. But I think Trump has never liked, Trump always has yes men around him.
Hmm.
And I
Hmm.
think Fauci telling the truth, not in keeping with what Trump put out when, now we have the information that Bob Woodward said that Trump knew that this was serious and intentionally played it down.
Hmm.
He, there's been a pattern of behavior, and he just doesn't, he wants everyone to think of him as doing a good job, and he doesn't want to be blamed for it. So he's downplaying it because his supporters will support him, and it's causing all the problems.
Well, now, if you notice when he's making public appearances, he's sweating profusely in the
Right,
face. He
right,
he's oranger than he normally would be in the face, and
right.
I just believe that they have him so doped up that that's what it is. He's quick to say drug test Joe Biden. When
Hmm.
really, I'm wondering what is in our current president, because some
And
of his behavior and actions is just downright crazy.
and I've also seen people mention about that he has labored breathing
Hmm.
when he's walking, and sometimes when he's just get through talking. So I mean, that's another issue in addition to those that you just mentioned. I mean, I don't think he's, part of me really believed if he was, um, even if he wasn't cured, we'd never hear it. He'd
Hmm.
never tell us the truth about it. And unfortunately, he has people around him who I believe will lie on his behalf, but he has not taken the proper responsibility for the opinions and attitudes of the American people,
Hmm.
who are the ones who are going out without masks, who are saying this is a hoax, with despite all the evidence to the contrary, and with Trump going after Fauci because Fauci is not a yes man. It just exacerbates the issues and makes it seem like, oh, who are you going to believe, this, the truth or the president?
Right,
And
right.
and that's about what it comes down to.
And I feel so sorry for Fauci because now he has to have bodyguards. He's getting death
Right.
threats and everything
Exactly.
because the president of the United States wants to discount this man. And to me, this man has kept us informed and abreast of everything that has been going on. But I don't know, as you said, who you gonna trust, the president or this guy?
Right. And I mean the president got said something. I remember a few weeks ago that he was resentful that Fauci's approval numbers were higher than Trump's. And he mentioned that in a press conference. What is that to talk about? I mean, Trump always compares his approval rating numbers, but here's someone, is that really something to complain about? That one of the reasons you don't like Fauci is because he has higher approval numbers.
All just it makes no sense. It's crazy.
No,
You know what I'm saying?
none.
All of that, it's ego driven. It's just really a sad situation. So listen, we want to remind everyone to vote. November 3rd is election day, but you do not have to sit around and wait. You can go early vote. You can go to any of the early voting centers here in the city of Chicago and vote early. But please do so. Be patient. Take your chairs, your snacks, whatever you need, but make sure you vote. We're not here to tell you who to vote for, but we do want you to vote. Isn't that right, Reverend Chuck?
Exactly. You must vote. You must vote, and that is the way of making our voices heard. And particularly for people of color, as I tell my friends, if certain parties didn't want us to vote, they wouldn't be trying to gerrymander things to prevent us from voting.
That's right.
So,
Very good.
that's one thing to think of.
All right. Well, here's some other news from the state of Illinois. It is being said that Illinois school teachers are retiring at high numbers be due to COVID-19. And
And
so,
it makes sense.
do you think so? Why,
Yeah,
why,
it
yeah,
does.
I agree.
Well, I mean, I think if you look at the overall age of teachers, the average age of teachers, anyway, we have a problem. You know, we're facing a teacher shortage. We have a problem attracting younger people
Hmm.
into the teaching profession. And
Hmm.
this is a problem that's been going on for a long time. And with COVID and with the uncertainty and with the health concerns, and also there's the issue, the problem with the pensions of what are the pensions going to look like. So it makes sense that you would have a number of people looking to retire right now.
Hmm. What do you think the future of the workforce will look like? So many office buildings here in downtown Chicago are empty now. A lot of people are working from home. I have some friends who their jobs have told them that work from home will now continue until June of 2021. The airline industry has let go of a lot of people. What if you had a crystal ball? What are you seeing?
I wish I had a crystal ball. The one thing, I mean, keep in mind, I've been working from home for over 5.5 years.
Hmm.
So some of this so the work from home stuff is uh, is nothing new to me. But what it is showing is that employers can get the same amount of productivity
Yep.
and they can cut down their overhead. I have friends who they've been told they'll be working from home permanently, where their companies are leasing out office space or just selling the space or and things of that nature. So I think what we're going to see is a lot more work from home positions, a lot more people getting hired. The commutes are going to start going down. But the problem is not everyone is able to be isolated and work from home. One
Hmm.
of my best friends, who's a very, we're both very chatty and what have you, but I'm more of an isolationist than him.
Hmm.
And he's going crazy being at home all the time.
Really?
And it's just because of his personality. His
Okay.
personality is that he enjoys and he needs to be around people and have that interaction. Me,
Mm.
not so much. But
Right.
for people like himself, then you have to look at. And while I have no qualms about his mental fitness, other people will suffer, depression,
Hmm.
suffer other negative mental emotions from the isolation,
Hmm.
which may in turn drive up healthcare costs.
Yes, true.
So, when you're looking at the overall, there will be a lot of gains in some areas as more companies do move to virtual employees. And I think that's going to be the lay of the land moving forward. But we
Hmm.
have to look at the after effects of so many people being not in a workplace. And I don't think for a good number of people, this is going to have some negative impacts that is going to have an impact on both the tax rate and our health insurance issues.
Hmm. I have a good friend that he has not had have a good friend whose company, all of the senior people who have been there a while that are, what the company considers fully vested, they sent someone out to design offices in their homes for them. So
Okay.
if they had an extra room in the home,
Hmm.
they sent a designer, like, one of these high-end companies, to
Right.
transform the space. They sent
Hmm.
all the equipment and they gave them all a bump in their salary because they were able to get rid of this really pricey, ritzy office
Right.
address that they had. And they said it has worked out just tremendously. Absolutely wonderful.
And I can see that happening. I don't know anyone that's happened to, and I can see that as being a benefit for a number of people because the what you invest short term, you're saving, in the long term. So,
Hmm.
and I think that's one reason why a lot of these corporations are going to um, move towards that. But these
Right.
smaller businesses, the smaller mom and pop businesses who can't afford to, who are losing out on employees, who need to be out in the public, the retail stores. and things like that. Those are the entities that are going to be having problems because they have to figure out different ways to sell and market their materials
Mm-hmm.
in a restricted environment,
Mm.
and that will be a trick. I don't know if you, I mean, from people that you know who are involved, or since you know a lot of people, because
Mm-hmm.
you are Chat Daddy.
Is that how that
um,
works? Is that how that works?
that's how that works. Um, but the people do you know that own retail establishments or that you've interacted with, how have they been talking about how they're going to move forward and what they're looking at?
Well, most of my friends who are in the retail business, they said that their online sales have been doing extremely well. Making sure everything that they have is now where it's online. It has broadened their audience. They were just saying today on national news that shipping companies are busier now.
Mhm.
Like this is the pre-holiday season. They said they're
Right.
as busy now as they would be with the upcoming holiday season. But no, all
Right.
of my retail friends seem to be doing well.
Okay,
um,
that's good.
I was in a major shopping mall last week for just a few moments, and a lot of the stores in the mall only open Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Interesting.
Some of the inner, not the main flagship stores, but
Hmm.
some of the hip hop stores or some of the
Okay,
stores like that, they would only be opening from Thursday until Sunday, I guess, when it's a bigger crowd at the mall, because it definitely
interesting.
not
Okay,
a lot of people. So yes.
yeah, that's interesting. And
Mhm.
and of course, I mean, I also am concerned about people with restaurants. They're
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was reading something. Well, the James Beard Foundation had said a couple of months ago that as many as 80% of restaurants were going to close. They've since revised that and dropped it down to about 60%.
Hmm.
But what was alarming is that they were predicting that 80% of minority companies,
Hmm.
Black, Hispanic, Asian companies, were in danger of of those types of restaurants were in danger of closing
Right.
because of the problems that everyone else is happening, and the minority restaurant market is taking a huge hit, and
Hmm.
that's another area of concern, not just because we like to eat out, but that's just another area of income that is going to be denied our collective communities.
Yes, yes, I'm with you on that. Okay, I agree 100%. Well, that's kind of amazing you brought that up, because guess what? I have a wonderful opportunity for those of you all that work in the restaurant business. Online applications open today, Monday. For the Illinois Restaurant Association's Educational Foundation Restaurant Employee Relief Fund, which aims to support restaurant industry workers with a one-time grant of $500 that can be used for rent, utilities, or other living expenses. You must prior is given to workers with COVID-19, or if they're caring for somebody in their family who has COVID-19, maybe somebody who has been unemployed for more than 3 weeks without any unemployment benefits. And I think this is really a great idea. And they're also raising money. So if you don't need money but want to donate to these young restaurant workers, not even young restaurant
Right.
workers, you can donate as well too. And you can go to Illinois Restaurants, that's Illinois Restaurants with an S.org, Illinois Restaurants with an S.org, if you want to donate or if you want to apply for that fund. I think that's really a great idea, don't you?
Yeah, I think it's great
Yeah.
as well, especially encouraging people to donate because restaurants have always been the lifebloods of our communities. So we
Uh-huh.
need to support them, and so many people get their first jobs in restaurants. So
Right. Hmm.
that's a thing to definitely to look forward to.
Do you remember what was your first job?
My first job was working for. Do you remember New Expression newspaper?
New
It was
Expression
an all
newspaper.
it was an
No.
all city high school newspaper. to all the schools around the city. And that was my first official job. I was their editor, and I oversaw everything. So that was my first
Wow.
official job where I actually got paid.
Okay. Okay.
I
My
got paid like
first
$80 a week.
really. And see, I don't even remember what I paid. My first official job was at Oak Tree Men's Clothing Store. Do you remember Oak Tree?
Vaguely, yeah.
Oh, there was an Oak Tree in Evergreen, Oak Tree in Fort Worth, and I moved to Oak Tree in Fort Worth. It was a men's clothing store.
Okay.
And that was the first job. My first restaurant job. Well, I was always around food, but the first restaurant job, other than family owned or involved, was at Red Lobster.
Which one?
I won't say which one, but I'll just say it was in the suburbs. So we never had them in the city. And my job was to dress like a lobster.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. And I would walk around the restaurant and entice people to find out what I need in my costume. Do I need to say more?
I don't. I think that says it all. That's really interesting. I never had a restaurant. I never worked in the food service industry. I did apply for a job at McDonald's once, and I got hired. But then my class, I was in college, and my class load doubled up, so I couldn't take the job. But I never worked in food service.
Well, that's fortunate. That's really good. Uh-oh, are we losing the signal? Let's see. Hold on. Okay, no, we're not. Can you still hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, beautiful. All right, I thought we would lose you. All right, for those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Monday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. Glad to be here with you guys on a beautiful fall Monday evening, rainy, overcast, a little nippy outside, but it's perfect for sitting back, relaxing, and hanging out with us tonight. My special co-host is author, historian, ordained minister, Mr. Chuck Smooth. He's a great guy. I've been calling him Rev Chuck, Brother Chuck. You know, just as long as the check is spelled right, that's all that matters.
Exactly.
I'm sure that's what he said.
Matters.
He's been an outstanding co-host this evening. He's been on point with everything he said. He's done a good job. Are you enjoying yourself so far, sir?
Definitely. I always enjoy being on with you. So this is even more of a exciting time.
Very good. Well, let's talk a little bit about your author, being an author of how many books is it? I know your one book is a history book of your fraternity.
Right. I have one book I wrote on the history of Alpha Phi Alpha in Illinois. I am working on two other ones. I'm working on a novel, and we're working on a more particular book on my undergraduate chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha, which is one of the oldest chapters. So we are working on that, hoping to get that out within the next couple of years. And trying to encourage other people to get out there and publish their own books, because there's a lot, the ability to self-publish is great now, and there are a lot of avenues. So for people who have ideas, now's a great time to look into and getting it out, and getting it just distributed is even easier because of Amazon. So,
yes, it is. Yeah. Very good. All right. Well, what else do you do in your spare time?
What spare time? No.
Oh, see.
Well, the other thing that I do in my spare time, I am the National Education Director for the 12th Round Foundation. The 12th Round Foundation is an organization that is dedicated to stemming the tide of domestic violence and sexual trafficking. It was started by a good friend of yours,
yes.
Miss Drea Kelly.
Yes.
And it's been a pleasure to work with her over these last couple of years, and we've really about getting the information out to colleges. And my emphasis has been getting information out to young men and getting men involved in the fight against domestic violence. And so that is one of the big things that I do in addition to my day job, because I firmly believe men need to take a more active and proactive role in discussing and educating and preventing domestic violence and creating the awareness of what we can do to start to stem the problems.
You know what? You've said a mouthful, and I agree with you 100%. With October being Domestic Violence Awareness Month, in every situation, it takes two people. And you're right. If these young men were to just step back, breathe, control themselves, let it go, walk it off, whatever, then you wouldn't have the situation escalating. We had a young lady on the show here Thursday who gave us details about what happened to her. And, just sometimes both people need to just stop and think before they react.
And it's also about breaking silence, breaking the cycle of generational violence, breaking the ability. You grew up watching your father or your uncle or your aunt abusing or getting abused, then you're more likely to be abused yourself or to become an abuser. So the other thing, is about breaking the cycle. And we talk about breaking the cycle of poverty, and we want to break the cycle of homelessness. But, domestic violence is also a cycle we need to look at breaking as well.
Yes. All right. I agree. So remember, October is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. If you know of someone who's in a situation or needs to break away, don't forget our good friend, Miss Lisa R. Jenkins, who was here with us last week, talked about her new app, the Slip Out app. Again, it's called the Slip Out app. It can be found on Android or Apple platforms, and it is a way to help those who might be in trouble. And it's a free app. Okay.
That's
all
awesome.
right.
That's
awesome. Yes,
awesome.
it is. Yes, it is. Thank you so much. She was a great guest, and I appreciate you bringing up tonight about men in domestic violence. You know what I'm saying? Because we've all got to own our parts in an unfortunate situation like that.
And it's a subject either as an abuser or as an abused person men are reticent to talk about, but it's a conversation we need to have. And I applaud you because I know you've dealt with these subjects many times before, and we've seen you, and you've had on people talk about sex trafficking and all of these, and we need more voices like yours out there willing to engage these conversations, because we got to make it better for our kids and our grandkids.
Yes, we do. And I appreciate you for your compliment. Really, I do. Thank you so very much. All right. Well, now we're going to go into entertainment. Well, before we do that, we've got to remind everybody, Chuck, do you have your mask there, sir? Do you have a mask?
Yes, sir. I do. I have one of my daily masks.
Oh, amen. All right. So everybody remember, you need to wear your mask, put your mask on. Please put your mask on. The COVID-19 update or uptick is in place right now here in the Chicagoland area of the state of Illinois. Matter of fact, we're experiencing a second wave of COVID, and we want to remind everybody to please wear your mask. Also, make sure you wash your hands as much as you possibly can. Soap and water is the best way to go. If you don't, hand sanitizer, remember, just take that hand sanitizer, put it in your hands. Chuck, you got some too? There you go. Yep, there you go. Rub them hands together real good. Let them dry. Don't be trying to light a cigarette or anything while they're still wet. That's a hot mess.
And it's also important for people to remember you have to wear the mask over your nose.
Yes.
You see a lot of people with the mask under here.
Yes.
You gotta have it over your nose. That's one of the important.
Yes.
That's one of the important areas.
Yes. Also, we want to remind everyone the social distance. Social distance mean get off of me, get off of me, back up. Can you get back a little bit? You all know how to get people up off of you. Social distance. And then the last and final point that we make on this show is that if you're not feeling well, keep your ass at home. It's really easy and simple. Right, right. Thou shalt not take thou ass out the house. Just, please don't. If you're not feeling well, yes.
Especially if you think you have a booty call, like you mentioned earlier today on, say, on social media.
Right. Thou shalt not answer from thirsty people. That's right. Don't do it. Just don't. Just don't. No booty call. Not at all. We need to curb this. We don't need to have an uptick. This is ridiculous. Now, Chuck, they're talking about young people going back to school, preschoolers and children who are handicapped going back to school in November. What do you feel about that before we go into entertainment stuff?
And I'm still of the opinion that unless there's no way that it goes back to what I said earlier. We think that children and younger people are somehow less likely to catch COVID, but they are catching it, and the rates of young people under the age of 18 are increasing. When you talk about handicapped children, you're talking about some who already have compromised immune systems. Mm-hmm. That seems like a recipe for disaster to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. Just be careful, you guys. Just follow the rules, do what's necessary. I know some children are having a very hard time, with attention deficit disorder, things like that. But safety and your health is number one, you guys. Everything else, we can work our way through it.
I think part of it is just getting, some parents just have to get creative and ask for help, ask for support. There's a lot of stuff that's coming out there to support parents. And, so I think asking for help is, if you need it, it's out there.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, our first entertainment news story tonight is a wedding was expecting 10,000 people to come celebrate. Williamsburg, Monday, which is now barred by state order. There was supposed to have been a wedding reception for the grandchild of a Hasidic leader in New York. And this grandchild is the rabbi. Long story short, 10,000 people were expected to show up, and in New York right now the limit is only 50 people. And the thing is that these people were not hearing no about showing up.
Okay, now let me put on my reverend hat.
Yes, please.
Because there's no way in hell I would perform that type of wedding. It doesn't matter how much you were offering, but to me, it says that rabbi was irresponsible to even entertain the thought to have that many people around. I get the traditions, I get the pomp and circumstance and the ritualistic nature, but again, it's irresponsible on the part of the rabbi and the other church leaders to even want to do that. And why would you invite 10,000 people in this day and age? And who has 10,000 people to invite to a wedding?
Well, look, all I'm gonna say is oy vey. This rabbi got it going on. You understand me? Because wait, let me give you more to this story, brother. There's more to this story. So listen. Previous marriages of this rabbi's relatives have drawn thousands of attendees, whether it was in Brooklyn or in Israel. Back in 2013, when his granddaughter got married, thousands of men in fur hats and black long coats packed the streets of Israel when the granddaughter got married in 2013. So I'm trying to figure out, is it one of these things like she gonna marry somebody else when all these dudes show up, and then maybe she go, oh hell no. Did you see that one over there? Or did you
I don't know a lot. I mean, I didn't study much about,
Judaism?
Hasidic.
Yes.
Well, I studied a little bit about Judaism. I didn't study
Okay.
much about Hasidic Jews.
Okay.
So I'm not very familiar. I know, again, the ritual and pomp and circumstance and, all that stuff. But at a certain point, common sense has to overtake it. But if you're having thousands of people show up at weddings, that means you got a lot of money. That means the more affluent thinks they are above the laws anyway. But to be willing to do that, as a minister, I got irritated when people were having church services and still having their normal congregations come. That's irresponsible. Ministers are supposed to be keepers of the flock and to shepherd your flock and not put them in danger so you can get a couple of bucks in the collection plate. But maybe that's why I'm a heretic.
That's all right. That's all right. I mean, you're absolutely right. Again, we're talking about being safe than sorry. You know what I'm saying? As one of your fellow classmates, Kay Renee, my co-host, she said, either mask it or casket, and she says that all the time. So I don't know.
No, I said she's right as usual.
Always. Okay. All right. Well, with that, let's continue on our hot topics and gossip for tonight. Actress Taraji P. Henson confirmed split from her fiance, Kevin Hayden. Taraji just said she's not going to be able to do it. And, she had postponed the spring wedding, then Rona season hit. And then it kind of got to be the 1st of July. And then Taraji was like, And so now she's saying, we're not doing this. What you think happened?
Well, I think she's waiting for me and she just didn't realize it. So that's why she's.
Is that what it is? Is that what it is?
I think that's what it is. Taraji could be a future ex-wife. I think, it just sounds like maybe she just got cold feet and decided not to go forward, or maybe something else was not right in certain areas. Although she had been posting rather some provocative pictures on Instagram lately, hadn't she? Some near nude and partial nude photos, which were lovely to look at. But maybe that was a part of this, separation that she's going through.
I don't know, but we wish her the best. What I appreciate the most about this entire situation is she's being upfront and honest. A lot of times when you're a celebrity and you're playing your life out in front of people, it's really hard to have privacy, and a lot of these celebrities play their life out in front of us. So, I appreciate her. There's nothing worse than marrying someone and you are not sure about who you're marrying. That's a horrible situation.
Right. And as I tell people when I perform marriages, that all I do is make it legal. The reality is the work goes in before and after. So if you're not sure, don't do it.
Have you had a lot of situations of people that you knew deep down in your soul, not giving out any names, that they were not really meant for each other and they got together and did it? How long before it fell apart?
I mean, I've performed marriages like that. Some marriages, some have lasted for a while. Others, I was actually talking about it earlier today. The worst one was, I think it lasted for about a year. But I knew from jump it wasn't going to last. The guy was a friend of mine, and he asked me, Chuck, can you? I said, okay. And the minute I met the two of them together, I said, this ain't going to last. And it lasted for a year. But, people have to go through their own thing and their own way of discovering stuff. And even if you warn them off, they're not necessarily going to listen to you. So, you think of people that you've been involved with that your friends didn't like, or, they didn't always tell you during it. It was always after the fact. It was, I couldn't stand that person, Right,
so right. I wonder why people have such a heart. I don't know. I guess when people love people, you just have to let them love who they love.
I
And
think so.
yeah, I just because I've learned early on, if you love it, I like it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just, I'm there to help you pick up the pieces when it all falls apart.
But it comes to, I mean, just your question, I'm sure you've had friends who have had partners whom you didn't like, didn't trust. You know, you kept your mouth closed, and why did you keep your mouth closed? I think
Right,
we all do the same thing.
right.
It's a tricky thing to do.
Yes. Okay. All right. Very good. Well, for those of you all that are just joining us, welcome to the Monday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am Chat Daddy. That gentleman in the box next to me is our guest co-host tonight. He's an author, a historian, and he's an ordained minister, Mr. Chuck Smooth. We call him Chuck. He's a really great guy. He's been on point tonight, funny, all of that great stuff. Have you?
Thank you.
I was going to say, have you enjoyed yourself thus
Oh,
far, sir? Yes.
I'm enjoying myself, and I have to, I've had so many friends who have been here with you. Shout out to my dolphin brothers and sisters, but I got to
Yes.
keep up with them. So
Mm,
I gotta,
right.
be like them.
Well, here's the deal. I've always been so jealous that I never went to Whitney Young. So hopefully,
Well, you should be.
well, listen. So before I die, I hope I become an honorary Whitney Youngin. Is that what it's called? Is that right?
We'll have to convene the council and see if we
Yes.
can make you an honorary dolphin.
Yes, because I'm not going to, tell you guys that Limb Bloom made me an eagle, but so I see you didn't say not one word, but see, I love dolphins. I've even swam with the dolphins, so yeah. So, look,
Well,
everybody.
you know how we are in Chicago about our high schools. So
Yes, I know you all are loving about you all's dolphins. Yes. All right, let's continue on. Let me put these comments up here for you. Everybody's loving it. Oh boy, this is hilarious. Honorary dolphin. That's right. Make Chat Dad an honorary dolphin. That's right.
all
Yay.
right.
Yay.
See, you got dolphins chiming in on it.
Yeah, but here go Limb Bloom. Yes. Tell me, wait a minute now. Wait a minute. Look, I'll take all these honors you guys give me. All right, I will. All right. So, Chuck, I want to get back to another hot topic that has been trending this afternoon and evening. Chuck, I've got to ask the question. Are you fully dressed on this broadcast?
I'm wearing a shirt and I'm wearing pants.
Okay. Well, very good. I had to ask because a New York, a writer for the New Yorker and a CNN analyst, Jeffrey Tobin, exposed himself during a very important Zoom call. It is even being reported that not only did we see the eggplant, but that he may have been playing with the eggplant while he was on this call. And he actually was on this call with some really big, important New Yorkers, some of the top people, and they were actually having a practice run of the election kind of thing I guess they were going to do online, and he ended up, his eggplant got shown, and they even said they thought maybe he was moving the eggplant while he was on the call too. So as we say on this show, fix it Jesus. So help us with this one.
Only it's been something. I mean, there have been the other instances. There was what was that news reporter who was found out to be cheating because his mistress ran naked past the Zoom thing, and he that wasn't his wife. And
Yes,
I think some of this stuff is not totally accidental. Maybe it's just the way I think, but if you know how things, what you're doing, how are you going to let yourself get exposed like that unless you want to? So, I mean, there have been a lot of other instances I've read about of Zoom mishaps, and you get screenshots, but I think a lot of this stuff, me personally, I think it's on purpose. People want attention, or yeah, because I mean, I think you're aware. I'm very aware of the fact that what I'm wearing, and if I stand up, I'm going to be aware that the camera may catch it. I'm aware of what's in the background.
Well, that's
And
true. Yeah.
I have to believe other people are similarly aware of that.
I don't, here's the deal. I know you get bored on these calls. I know,
Right.
but anytime you go to start stroking yourself on these kind of calls, that is it's a little far-fetched to me, you know?
So that, and I'll make this really quick. That reminds me of once I was working in this one office building, and I went in the bathroom one day, and there was a guy I could hear who was obviously pleasuring himself. And I think there are a lot of people who get off on that type of activity, doing it somewhere where you might get caught or something. And in this environment, when we have less opportunities for the exhibitionist type, they're going to do what they're going to do what they can to get their rocks off. So, yeah, I believe part of it is intentional.
Wow, I guess I just okay. I'm gonna leave that where that's at. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I don't, I just couldn't imagine myself. I'm never on a call with anybody that would even move me to, you know what I'm saying? And this is not the platform for you to be getting your willy wallies off of, what do you think's gonna happen to him? Is he gonna be shunned and because he's an award-winning journalist and
he'll get a slap on the wrist, and he's rich and white and influential. He'll get a slap on the wrist and it'll go forward. I don't think there'll be any consequences.
Okay, all right. Well, do you have anything in gossip and entertainment you want to bring up tonight?
There's nothing. I mean, there's a whole Ice Cube thing. I mean,
yes.
What? Well, let me ask you. I mean, this whole thing with Ice Cube saying he worked for Trump, making the offer to work with the Biden campaign, given that Ice Cube is an icon in the Black community. What do you think about the revelation that he's been working with Trump? I mean, that's how do you take that?
Well, first of all, I need to wrap my brain around the fact that maybe Ice Cube wants to be a spokesperson for us to begin with. I necessarily don't think of Ice Cube as being the ultimate person that could say what's really wrong with the Black community and how we and what we need and some platinum plan. Now, he did say, he's been doing all the media tours. He did say that he tried to take it to the Biden campaign and they really didn't go for it or didn't pay attention to it, and that the Trump campaign really did pay attention. So does that really make him a sellout or not? You know what I'm saying?
Well, I mean, I think, as my grandmother used to say, you lie down with dogs, you get up with fleas. I think if we look at what has happened with Jim Brown and Kanye and Omarosa and the other Blacks that have worked with Trump, look at how they've been treated afterwards. But I think the plan that Ice Cube put forward, it wasn't his plan. It was something that was put together by others. I'm not sure he was the best representative to put that forward, and maybe someone else. But the question is, to me, is why are so many people? Why are they acting as if Ice Cube is almost a spokesperson? What you just said. He's not a spokesperson, but people are treating it like that. I mean, I'm sure you've noticed that reaction as if he is somehow betraying the race.
Yeah. No, now, if you are telling this man that we need better health care, and here's the deal, I just don't want it to be a Black thing. I want this to be anybody who is in need and in trouble. I know as many, Hispanics that could use good medical care, good, a fair wage. I know whites, just all races of people, but I just don't think that Ice Cube necessarily has our best interest at hand as a spokesperson for us. I just don't.
And I'd agree with you 100%. I think he's Ice Cube has been a wonderful entertainer, and that's it. It's we deify entertainers in this country, and we elevate them to statuses that they don't have not earned, or nor do they deserve. And we need to leave that type of work to the people who have really put in the work.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's the same way. Like, I wouldn't want Kevin Hart to be a spokesperson for
Right.
what I'm saying? They're just Tiffany Haddish. I don't necessarily would want her. And it's nothing against any of these people. I don't know. Did you get a chance to see Saturday Night Live with Issa Rae as co-host?
No, not yet. I did not get a chance. I tape Saturday Night Live, and I generally watch them later.
Okay,
so what did I miss?
I won't spoil it for you, but I was told that it was okay, and that in one of the skits she said F Kanye, and Kanye took to social media and was like, "Oh, how dare you!" and saying that Saturday Night Live is an old tired show, and that he's praying for her family, and that type of thing. So you'll see it, but I've heard mixed reviews about the show anyway. So
okay, yeah, I'll definitely have to check it out.
Yes. Well, all right, let's continue on with our conversation here. One of our fans had put up tonight that people need to stop going live from various events while we're in the midst of this pandemic. And I'm kind of curious to know what you think about that, because 2 weeks ago, about a week, not this weekend, but the previous weekend, I saw just tons of just parties, people going live, all of that. And now, a couple of people have come up positive at a few of these soirees. Right. What advice would you give to people? Because see, I'm not coming up live at anything I go to now. You know what I'm saying? And when you see me in a photo, I bet you I'm gonna have that mask on.
Right.
Okay. Right.
No, I think it goes back to that whole thing of thinking you're immune and wanting to still live your best life and trying to act like everything is normal. And I think that's a way of people trying to remain normal, but it can backfire because that gives other people the bad impression that, it's safe to go out and, start dancing like you were just doing. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think it's highly irresponsible. So
It is. All right.
We'll have to see.
Okay. Well, with that being said, you guys heard what Chuck said. And if Chuck says it, it's law. We want to remind, before we flip over to our next segment, we want to remind everyone to please wear your mask. Put that mask on. Put it over your nose and your mouth. Please do so. Wear your mask. It's easy and simple. If you are wearing those paper masks and they've become nasty and, it's macaroni and cheese pieces stuck in there and, you got a snot stain, all of that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's time for you to change your mask. If you're able to smoke a cigarette through your paper mask, then it's time for you to change that mask. Right. Exactly. It's time. Okay. We also want to remind you guys to wash your hands. Soap and water is essential. Wash your hands. Say Mississippi 3 times, then rinse your hands. If you don't have soap and water, good old sanitizer will do. Get you some sanitizer. Clean your hands. Social distance at least 6 feet back. There you go, Chuck. Show them how it works. There you go. Very good. Get people off of you. And here's the deal. If you're there, look at Chuck. He doing it, cleaning his hands. There you go. And here's the other thing. If you're not feeling well, keep your ass at home. Easy, simple, does not cost you anything. If you call your job right now and say hello, they'll say keep your ass at home. Won't they, Chuck?
Exactly.
Right. Chuck, what's the sick voice, Chuck? What's your sick voice?
I just do a low growl.
See. Okay, so what? I'm finna be your boss. Okay, so you calling me. Hello, White Castle. Can I help you?
I can't come in today.
Chuck, keep your ass at home. See, I know it's you.
I
know it's you. See, I would even know it's you. See, that's what I'm saying, right? I would know it's you.
Exactly.
If you guys are not feeling well, stay at home. All right. So, how many people are longing to go on a Caribbean vacation? How many people would love some palm trees, some sunshine, some tropical drinks, and some delicious food? Well, guess
Dude,
what?
I got a honeymoon plan.
Oh, that's right. You do. Well, guess what? Is it planned for this year?
No, no.
Okay,
Mm-mm.
then. Well, you can do a honeymoon dinner
Okay,
at one of
okay.
my favorite new places. It's brand new to the Hyde Park area. I'm so excited. It's on East 53rd Street. And let me just say this to you guys. It's quaint enough that it makes you feel as if you're sitting near a cabana on the ocean having dinner. But yet it's spacious enough that you are able to go in there, social distance, and do everything you need. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense.
Intimate, but yet spacious, clean, airy, all of that great stuff. Well, the place that I'm talking about is 14 Parish Restaurant and Rum Bar. And when I say to you guys, they have so many amazing rums that it's just, I didn't even know they made that many. Look, Chuck, I thought it just came in light, dark, and reserve. I didn't know it came in, all of these,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, there's a lot of good rum out there. There definitely is.
Very good. Well, we have two people joining us tonight. We have the owner of the restaurant, and we have a mixologist that's going to join us. And then, Chuck, what is this I hear? What is this I hear about? The mixologist. Now people going to think this is nepotism on this show. How did this happen?
Oh, you're kidding me.
Yeah, no, I'm just joking. Yeah, look, but I didn't. Did you know one of your cousin is the mixologist?
No, not until
I'm going to surprise you. Miss Raquel Fields is the owner of 14 Parish. Yay! How are you, my dear? Hello.
Hi, my dear. How are you?
I'm good, darling. You look amazing this evening. How are you feeling?
Thank you. I'm okay. I'm feeling all right. Speaking of COVID and social distancing, I had a little tickle, so I stayed my butt home. So that's why I'm broadcasting.
All right.
That's okay. We love you for that. We are not mad. And look, anybody who has a little tickle, as we say on this show, stay your ass at home. And you did.
Absolutely.
You did. All right.
Absolutely.
We have a mixologist joining us tonight. We're going to bring him on screen, but we're going to talk to you, and then we're going to get the party going and all that good stuff. And so we have Mr. Aaron Michael Wells, and come to find out. So I guess this really is one of your relatives. Isn't this
he's my cousin. He is my younger cousin.
Welcome to the show, Master Mixologist.
Hey, how are you, how's everybody doing? What's up, cuz?
Hey, what's up, cuz?
I didn't think you was gonna be on here. That's crazy.
I had no idea either. I'm assuming your dad is watching.
Yeah. I hope so.
You're right. You better call and tell him. Yeah, amen. It's like a family reunion tonight. Well, listen.
Yeah, it is.
So that's Rocky. I'm Lil Rock because my dad is Rock and her dad is Rock. That's funny. Yeah.
And I'm Little Rock. Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, Lil Rock. So we both Lil Rock.
I love it. I do. Well, I'm glad you guys are here. Well, we're gonna talk to Little Rock and find out from her, how did you come up with this amazing, wonderful restaurant, and just tell us everything we need to know about the restaurant.
Okay. So Team Parish was a brainchild between me and one of my best friends, who is from Jamaica. And that's where it gets the Caribbean influence. We decided that we wanted to set off and open a restaurant and bar in South Loop. And so we opened the restaurant and bar. We did really, really well in South Loop. We were really well received by Chicago. But we had two kind of unfortunate events, which have happened to become a fortunate situation and being in our new Hyde Park location. But those events caused us to move. And the first event was our landlord who owned the property at our South Loop location. He ended up passing away. He was a 97-year-old wonderful man. And his sons decided that they wanted to live their lives in Florida or wherever. So they decided to sell the property. And so that was the catalyst of us moving to the Hyde Park location. In addition to that, it's heartbreaking to say it, but my partner lost his son to Google in 2019. And so as a result of that devastating loss, he just didn't have it in him. The restaurant industry is extremely rigorous. It's extremely time consuming, and he wanted to dedicate and devote his time to his family. And so he's still a major supporter of what we do. He's still one of my biggest cheerleaders and champions, but he's definitely taken a step aside to focus on his family. So with that, we're now found this fabulous location in Hyde Park. We've been extremely, extremely well received by the Hyde Park community. And we're just really happy to be here. So our new improved concept at our Hyde Park location, we're still a Caribbean fusion restaurant. And so I want to express fusion because we're not what's coined as a Jamaican jerk spot. We do have some jerk on our menu, but that's not the identity that is the restaurant. We are a fusion. We do some really creative things. We offer menu items inspired by regions all throughout and all over the Caribbean, the rest of the world. It's just our influence and our cuisine heavily Caribbean. And so I just want to clear that up because a lot of people think that we're jerk spot. They're like, why you don't have stewed chicken? Why you don't have oxtails? Why you don't have? And it's like, we don't do only Jamaican food. We love Jamaican food, though, to be clear. We love Jamaican food, but that's not all we do. So in addition to the Caribbean fusion side of the restaurant, we are also extremely excited to be one of Chicago's very limited rum bars. We have over 100 rums on our bar, which is a feat in itself. Me and Aaron do a lot of tasting, and we take a lot of Tylenol. But we really very, very, very hard to source really quality rum. 99.9% of our rums come from the Caribbean and South America and Mexico. And we really, really work hard to create and curate a wonderful experience for our patrons. We want to create experiential dining. Our drink menu is really, really cool. We've themed many of our signature drinks after ancient mythological characters from the Caribbean. And I don't want to get too long-winded into that, but the reason why I chose the Caribbean and ancient mythological characters from the Caribbean, as well as rum, beyond the fact that rum is America's true first spirit, rum is one of those products that tells our history as African Americans and our transition from West Africa to the United States. And what's really cool about the Caribbean culture is they were able to maintain a lot of our Afro tradition that we weren't able to maintain. And that story is very heavily documented throughout the course of rum and its development. So rum and how it's produced and rum and how it came to fame is just as much as it is Black history as it is Caribbean and American and French history. So it's really cool to look at what has been done across the region with rum. It's really cool to hear about the story of him and how his son, he was a Black man in Martinique who came up with rum agricole, and how his son taught him how to produce rum and distill rum. And then he went on to run the entire island of Martinique. So that's our story that's deeply embedded in the story of rum. And throughout the Caribbean, we get to maintain a lot of our African traditions and our African culture and history through that transition that was lost in translation by the time we hit North America. So we love it. We try to take people on a journey. We try to stay true to the history, and we try to be creative. You know, we try to have fun with what we offer our guests.
You know what? The evening that I came to visit you guys, I had just the most phenomenal time ever. The place is just beautiful. The service was exquisite. But what I really enjoyed was you really paired rum with pretty much everything I had. You brought me a beautiful sipping rum out to begin the meal with. Then I ended up having a wonderful dessert cocktail. And I've had people come there since I was there, and they told me that they've enjoyed every bit of their experience. And you're right. You're not a Jamaican jerk hut. You're not. You have so many different things. The short ribs of beef. Oh my God. Oh my God.
Thank
See,
you.
y'all making me hungry.
Have mercy. Have mercy, Jesus.
Okay.
Let's talk about some of the items on the menu if we could. Who wants to talk about that real quick?
So, Aaron, you have a couple of things to display. We're typically closed on Monday, but our chef did come in and he made a couple of dishes for us. Aaron, you want to talk about what was made and left over?
All right, hold
There
on.
we go.
What's going on? All right, so
Hey.
we have this beautiful crab cake right here. See that?
Oh
That's
boy.
good.
Oh, that looks great. That is wonderful. Are those salmon patty? I mean,
No,
crab
crab
patty?
cake. So this is
Oh Lord,
100%
have mercy.
crab. With none of that, it is a little bit of breadcrumb in there, but it is all the crab. Get everyone you like. So that's
Yes, it
really
is.
amazing. And then also we have here. I don't know if you can really see that.
Yes, we
That
can.
is our coconut curry shrimp dish,
Oh,
which is amazing as well. With our what is that? The cilantro.
Yeah, that's our jasmine rice. Mm-hmm. Hi,
That's right. Can you hear him?
oh, I hear. I can. That's beautiful. Oh, that looks good.
Yeah, that looks really good.
It comes with jasmine rice, cilantro on top, sauteed shrimp, steamed mixed peppers, all poured with the coconut curry sauce.
Oh my God! And that coconut curry sauce is amazing.
Thank you.
It's off the chain. It really is. It really, really is. So I want to find out before we go into our cocktails, what are your hours of operation and how have you been able to pivot during COVID?
So first, let me start with our hours of operation. So we are open Tuesdays through Sundays, closed on Mondays. We're open Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday from 3 p.m. to 11. And on Fridays and Saturdays, we're open from 3 p.m. to 1:30 a.m. So we're one of the very few late night spots where you can come after a meal and have an awesome cocktail with Aaron or whoever is behind our bar if you'd like to, and maybe a couple of appetizers. So on the weekends, on Fridays and Saturdays, we're open till 1:30, and we do our transition into the bar menu during those hours. So you can get that crab cake, some really good appetizers, and some cocktails during that time. In
Beautiful.
regard to your question, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go right ahead. Keep going. I just said beautiful.
Oh, thank you. So, in regard to your question about pivoting during COVID, so we opened in our Hyde Park location after COVID had already begun. So
Wow.
we've been existing in the pivot, right? And so we've been extremely blessed and extremely favored. That is what I can say. We focus on trying to deliver a really strong product. I believe that our reputation preceded us into this new location, which was helpful. And, we just keep trying to give Hyde Park and Chicagoland something new. One of the things that we're going to be bringing into play and into focus now that we no longer have outdoor dining, since it's getting too cold, we're going to be doing rum tastings where you can book a rum tasting for the first 20 minutes of your meal, and you can book those in advance. And we have our different brand ambassadors that will come and do a rum tasting so you can truly learn and experience rum in a different way that is not presented. So we try to keep it we try to keep giving something new. We're having a Halloween party for Halloween where guests can taste and sample our rum, and we're going to do a costume party, costume competition. It's not a real party because there can't be any standing and all of that good stuff, but we're still trying to work and do our best to help our patrons feel like there's a sense of normalcy. People are getting tired. It's stressful. COVID. We all have the COVID blues. We're all over 2020, and we're just trying to maintain a safe space. So make sure that we keep the restaurant COVID compliant. make sure that we train our staff, make sure that everyone is doing their part to keep patrons and one another safe, but to also still deliver a very fun, unique experience right in our own backyard on the South Side.
I love it.
Art, you mind if I jump in and
go
ask
right
a
ahead,
question?
Chuck. Go right ahead.
So, Raquel, for people, I'm more of a, let's say, whiskey and mezcal drinker. So for people like myself, you or Aaron, what would you suggest how to introduce someone who is used to those type of spirits, to introduce them to rum, to get them interested in the different rums that you guys have?
All right, so our big thing, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, cool. So we can. All right, cool. So my big thing, and I'm adamant on this. When people come in, you're not in Chicago. You're at 14 Parish. Kind of like you can get Tito's and soda anywhere. You can get your tequila drinks anywhere. You're here. This is a rum bar, and I have something for you in a matter of rum that is comparable to whatever you like. Whether it be cognac, I got a cognac, or something that is very similar to a cognac, but that is rum. I have something. So like you yourself, you like mezcal, so tequila. They're distant cousins. Something like smoking. I have something for you here. So like this Puerto Angel, right? This is what I give to my tequila drinkers, because this is basically it's the same terroir. I don't know if you're familiar with the word terroir. Mm-hmm. That is a wine term. Basically, that earth that agave is grown in is the same earth that the sugarcane is grown in. So that climate, that weather. So it's very, very similar to, basically tequila. Okay. So I have, so basically anything. Like there's no excuse for you to not try something in the matter of rum when you come here. Whether it be vodka, I got you covered there. Tequila, or cognac, or even whiskey. You like whiskey? I have some amazing rums that have been aged. And actually, this is right here in front of us. So this is aged plantation original. Dark. So this is in our old fashioned, which is amazing. Definitely one of our best sellers. So this is aged twice. So once in a cognac barrel, and then again in a bourbon cask as well.
Okay.
So
nice.
We got you covered.
He does. I'm impressed. I am very impressed.
I think we might be to see y'all on Thursday.
I will be here.
Yeah, look, I'll be there Friday when my evening is free. Yes, amen. Little Rock, do me a favor. So tonight we have a drink we're going to display to my audience, correct? Two?
Yes.
Oh, very good. All right. Whenever you're ready, sir, we're ready. You're doing a great job.
All right. So I'm going to start off with a daiquiri, our house daiquiri. So we use Plantation 3-star, which is aged for 3 years, and then they actually filter out the color, so it is a white rum, but it has all the yummy components of like an aged rum. So it's 2 ounces of that. We're going to use an ounce of lime juice, fresh squeezed lime juice. We're going to do some sugar cane. I have some sugar cane here. We're going to do 3/4 of an ounce of sugar.
Oh, nice.
Cane right in there. A little bit of orange bitters right here. Pop that in there. 3 shakes. And that's it. So a little bit of ice. We're going to give us a nice shake.
You know that's my favorite sound on earth, right?
It sounds like the Caribbean.
No, it sounds like I'm going to have a good time.
Hey, all right. And a martini glass or coupe. We're going to double strain that so no little ice pieces or shards in there. And then we're going to take this lovely orange peel, okay, and we're going to impart some of these essential oils from the orange right on top. And this is our daiquiri.
Wow.
So cheers.
Yes. Cheers.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Oh, that is beautiful.
Oh my God. That was beautiful. That was well executed. Now that was a good one. Yes. All right.
So the other drink that we're gonna do is our famous our Mai Tai. What is it? What is it, Raquel? Because he just named this
It's a
yesterday
Mai
for me.
Tai à trois. So it's a word play on the word menage a trois, because it has the 3-star rum in it. And so Plantation 3-star rum is a menage a trois between 3 different regions in the Caribbean. It's Barbados, Jamaica, and the Dominican, correct? Did I get that right? It's Trinidad.
So Jamaica, Barbados, and Trinidad. Yeah.
Nice.
So that rum is the rums in that they come from all 3 of those different regions, and that's how that blend came about. So since it is a menage a trois, our Mai Tai is a Mai Tai à trois.
I love it. I do.
So again, we're gonna do 2 ounces of the Plantation 3-star. We're gonna do 0.75 of Combier or any orange curacao or triple sec. All right, we use a fancy Combier here. And then we're going to use something real special. This is orgeat. So that is almond syrup.
Mm.
About 0.75. That beautifulness.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
And I give this bad boy a dry shake. So without ice. So this is a little guy. Little shake. Similar. And right into our beautiful tiki mug here. That's a beautiful glass.
Oh, nice.
And I'm gonna step off 1 second. I want to grab some ice. And this one gets topped with the Plantation Original Dark, which again is that's what we're talking about, aged twice, so once in a bourbon cask, once in a cognac cask. So it's a float on top of this dark rum, and then we get a beautiful mint crown right on top. You're gonna, clap that together to release those oils.
Oh, okay.
That's right. That's right. Anything you spank, it's happy after you spank it. So,
that is our Mai Tai.
Oh, Art, are we not supposed to? Look, that's my younger cousin here. Come on, let's be proper.
He's wrong now. You see how he spanked that man? He laid down on that drink, didn't it? It laid down. He spanked it good. Yeah,
so there you go. Mai Tai à trois. Right here. Yeah, only at 14 Paris, right? Cheers.
Hey, outstanding job. Outstanding job, sir. Yes, he did. I have a question. There was a rum out by the name of Tin Cane Rum, and it was considered a premium, and it just disappeared. Is there one that's equivalent to Tin Cane? And I don't know what happened with the manufacturer of that rum, but it really was a very good premium rum.
I'm going to give you 3. All right. So her favorite on the bar would be the Diplomatic. So that's this beautiful rum right behind me.
Okay, wait. Let me get
this is definitely an amazing sipping rum. Yeah.
Okay.
Keep it at home.
Okay.
And that's
all right. So
that's from So this is from Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a 12-year go-to. Yeah, 12-year age. Our kind of go-to for like guests when they first come, if it's like a celebration, a birthday, or whatnot, we give them, what is it, Raquel? The Cihuatan 8-year, right?
Yes.
And this is in a few of our cocktails as well. So definitely the Gang Sarah. That's one of the amazing cocktails we have. This is like it has sweeter notes to it. Think vanilla, marshmallow, you know what I mean? So a very, very lovely finish to it. So that's the Cihuatan 8-year. And then again, the Plantation Original Dark. That is definitely one of our favorites for cocktails, as well as the sipping neat.
Okay.
And I looked up your Tin Cane. Your Tin Cane was discontinued in 2015.
I know. I couldn't believe that rum, and it was only at high-end places that I was able to get it. And I used to love Tin Cane. Yes.
Yeah, it's a Moet product. So it's owned by the Louis Vuitton Moet conglomerate.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, with that being said, with the holidays right around the corner, and our mayor and governor is saying that we might have to keep our asses in the house this holiday season, you do incredible catering as well, too. Well, they didn't say it like that, but that's kind of what they said. Keep your ass in the house this holiday season.
Right.
So let's talk about your
Yes.
catering.
Yeah, so we do offer catering right now off-site. Typically, we do allow events to happen in the restaurant if you want to rent us out for a holiday party. But with COVID, it's just way too difficult to manage. But we do have a catering menu. If you have questions about catering, or if you're interested in us doing any of your small events, please feel free to email us at catering@14parish.com. You can also visit our website at www.14parish.com and get in contact with us that way. We can do pretty much anything. We are very boutique in our catering offerings. You can definitely get anything that's on our menu catered. But if you need something like heavy hors d'oeuvres, breakfast, pastries, desserts, we can do it all.
Can you say your website again and just spell it out again for the people who are listening and may not be able to see the screen?
Absolutely. So our website is www.14parish, PARSH.com, and that's www.14parish.com.
Okay.
Yes.
Mhm.
All right. Very good. Well, I just want to thank both of you. Everybody loved the bartender. Aaron Michael Wells, great job.
Of course, very
Appreciate you. Appreciate you.
Yes,
Yeah.
we appreciate you,
You
brother.
gotta come
Look, they
to the
said
bar. Come work with me, man. I got you.
I'm coming back to hang out. You did an outstanding job. Great job. You really did. Chuck,
and I'm
anything you
serious. Thursday.
Thursday.
Okay.
I'll leave, Taz. I'll be here.
We're gonna come through on Thursday, and I got to, it's. I'm sorry, I have to be a little proud. It's, I've watched him grow up, and to see him do this and be so professional and capable, just does your heart good. So good job, Aaron and Raquel. I really look forward to meeting you and tasting your food, because everything sounds amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having us. We really appreciate it, and we can't wait to dine with you, or for you to dine with us.
It's a pleasure. Let me tell you how God works things out. Raquel, I came to have dinner with you guys. What was it? 3 weeks ago?
Yeah, about that. Mm-hmm.
And we made the decision that you would be on the show tonight, correct?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Smooth, when did I call you to be the co-host of this show?
Friday.
So I had no
Friday.
idea. And look at how the family reunion happened tonight.
Yeah,
that's
it's
Absolutely.
but yeah, you're right. That's how. But also goes, we're less than 6 degrees of separation. So
isn't that amazing? We've had a family reunion right here on this show.
Right here, yeah.
Right. This is but God. 3 weeks ago, we decided this night. And I
didn't even
called
know.
Chuck Friday. Yeah. And I said, Chuck, it's time for you to come on and be co-host. I said, you need to do it Monday night.
Exactly.
I have this wonderful restaurant coming on, and that's it. And look at how this all worked out. And so this is all in divine order. Yes, it is. All
Absolutely.
right. Well,
the family's gonna get a kick out of this one.
Yeah. This is amazing. I just want to say congratulations on all your success at 14 Parish. Just wonderful staff, great food, beautiful environment, and I just wish you well. And I'm so honored to have had you both on the show with me tonight.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. Good night. We appreciate you both. This was incredible. Wow,
Guys,
brother.
take care.
Family reunion. See there? See
how about that? Man.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was a little I was a little speechless. I'm like, oh my God, that's Aaron. And but yeah, he's a great young man, and he obviously knows his thing. So I mean, I am going to the restaurant Thursday.
Very good. Very good. Well,
me and the fiance are gonna go there.
Yes, well, this has brought tears to my eyes, because that's just amazing. Who knew? Who knew?
Right,
and look, and back screen, I'm seeing that's my cousin. That's my cousin.
Right.
Kidding me?
Yeah,
wow.
It's a great thing, but that's how, it's wonderful how these things can work out. So
yeah, that's nothing but God. That's all that is. So
exactly.
well, everybody has loved tonight's show, brother. You have done an outstanding job tonight.
Well, thank you, sir.
You've got to come back and visit again.
Anytime.
Before we run, plug whatever you need to plug, and then do me a favor, just give us some words of encouragement and wisdom. Man, we living in some crazy times right now. Our country is dealing with our world is dealing with the pandemic. Our country is dealing with lunacy. So what do you want to leave us with?
Well, I'll do this. I wrote a message that I sent to my fraternity about a month ago, and I'm doing some research. We've been through this before. In 1918, we had the H1N1 pandemic, which was, unfortunately referred to as the Spanish flu, and it decimated our countries, and we were fighting a war at the same time. Remember, this was during World War One. And if you go back and look at pictures, you will see pictures of people standing in line with masks and the whole thing. And the one thing that struck out to me is that, we've been through this before. We came out of it on the other side. And we collectively, our communities were able to grow and thrive and flourish despite, the perilous times that they were living in. So a little more than 100 years later, we're going through the same thing. So if it happened once before, with God's grace and God's help, and by paying attention to the warnings, we can do it again and still come out on the other side stronger. So that is really what I would leave with people, that keep the faith. It seems dark, but it's not as dark as we think, as long as we have a little bit of faith in ourselves and each other. And the last thing I want to mention is, I mentioned the 12th Round Foundation. We do have some things that will be coming up with Miss Kelly. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to you about that. But this is Domestic Violence Awareness Month. So I encourage, if you or anyone listening knows of anyone who is in a situation or needs help, the National Domestic Violence Hotline is a great resource, and they can get you help, resources for people who are either abusers or the abused. And just reach out and support your people, particularly in COVID, with rates of domestic violence going up because of the isolation. It's more important now than ever to check on people and give people the support that they may need. So I would say, just, what I would leave for is check on those who are ill and infirmed and those who are compromised, and let them know that you got support out there for them.
Yes. Well, that was a beautiful message. You've done really an outstanding job, brother. I'm so glad you took time out of your busy schedule just to hang out with me this evening. I am
my pleasure.
Look, I'm just moved to know I coordinated a family reunion, an accidental.
Right,
that was just beautiful. That that was your younger cousin, and here he is. And and look, and not many of us can say that. You know what I'm saying? To be proud of somebody really doing something, and he really did know his business tonight.
And I'll say this other thing. His father is one of the people that had a hand in raising me. So it's definitely that connection. So
okay.
So thank you. Thank you, Art. It's good to know where my cousin is. I can go find him now.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, and then at the family reunion, look, he better make y'all some really good drinks, right? If he he'd be coming over talking about, well, that's at my job. No, that's anywhere you go, right? That's right.
Exactly.
Yes.
And I'm not even going to ask for a family discount. I'll pay full price.
Very good.
Because that's how we support Black businesses. We
that's right.
We pay full price.
That's right. Very good. I like to hear that. All right. So listen, coming up on the Tuesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show, tomorrow, businesswoman Miss Jerry Norrington will be joining me. I love Miss Jerry. She is our coordinator for our mature audience. I don't ever like to offend people. And so tomorrow night, I'm going to have a conversation with our mature citizens about this election, about the world in which we live in. We have a great roundtable plan for tomorrow night. And then we're going to meet a gentleman who has created a company to help businesses during this time of this pandemic to be able to get food orders. But most importantly, he's created political cereal boxes to represent each one of the candidates. And the boxes are really interesting. I received mine over the weekend. So tomorrow night, just know I'll be the youngest person on the panel. If mature, does that make sense? So we're gonna have
that makes sense.
Yeah, I never like to be like, well, tomorrow we have no, we have a mature group of people coming by to talk to me about everything that's going on, from politics to relationships to you name it. And then we're going to meet this wonderful man who's trying to bless restaurants here in the Chicagoland area. Chuck, let me go see some of our feedback. Everybody loved tonight's show. They did. And saying amen to everything you said tonight, brother. You really did. Tell people how they can connect with you on social media, brother.
Okay, so you can find me on Twitter at the Rebel Juice. That's TheRebelDeuce. And I am on Instagram as Chuck Smoot 1906. And on Facebook, just regular Chuck Smoot. And that's where I can be found, spouting my mouth, here and there.
Oh, he spouts at you all. He really does. That's why he ended up in the co-host seat. People don't end up in the co-host seat unless they got a flip lip, and that's what we love on this show. Right, a flip lip is what gets you in the co-host seat on this show.
And my bad jokes.
Well, that's okay. That's all right. That's all right. We love all of that. Yes.
Exactly.
All right. Well, on behalf of my co-host this evening, the one and only Mr. Chuck Smoot, we appreciate him so very much. For more information about yours truly, please go to therealchatdaddy.com. There it is, therealchatdaddy.com. Do me a favor, go over to YouTube and like The Real Chat Daddy Show on YouTube. Free, easy, does not cost you anything. I'm not going to bug you. Also, if you go over to Facebook and like The Real Chat Daddy Show, that would help me out as well too. Other than that, for more information about me, all you have to do is go to therealchatdaddy.com. Don't forget, tomorrow night we're going to have a great show. Mature. Yes, mature. I'm going to be the baby tomorrow, but they're going to talk about politics, relationships, everything. Just think of this as your auntie, your mama and them telling it like it is on the show tomorrow night. I'm telling you, it's going to be really great. And then we're going to meet a man. Huh? What you said, Chuck?
They're going to be dropping some knowledge on you next week.
They're going to be dropping some knowledge. Let me put it to you like this. A couple of them, the word cougar is not offensive to them. I'll put it to you like that. Yeah.
All right.
That's all I'm going to say. Yes. All right. So thank you guys so very much for being here with us tonight. Chuck, outstanding job, brother. I really do appreciate you.
Thank you, my friend. I truly appreciate you having me.
Yes. All right. God bless. Have a great night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Over and out. All right. See you later, Chuck. Good night.